Virginia couple is still thriving in that post-wedding bliss. But what makes this love story different is the positive impact that it had on an entire community. Here at WUSA 9, we know that you could really use some hope in your headlines. And that's why our Sean Martinelli takes us to the city of Arlington to get to the heart of it.
At the Arlington Public Library, there hasn't been this much hype since Harry Potter. Strangers came together for a new release destined to be a classic, a nonfiction love story you won't find on the shelf. To find out how we got here, we first have to introduce you to our protagonists, Katie Letty and Vincent Bauer.
Our story begins in Chicago.
They were college classmates.
I had time between classes and Vincent would come sit on the bench next to me between classes, and I was like, I don't know what he's doing here on this bench.
Over 13 years, they journeyed from that bench to this couch. Katie fell in love with Vincent's lowercase mannerisms, while Vincent found someone who writes her life story in bold.
Fierce and smart, a little bit feral.
Together, they co-authored a romance. From the chapter where they lived apart to the one where they moved in, from getting a dog to learning about a contest. A contest for one library-loving duo to tie the knot here.
So we are hosting a wedding.
All expenses paid. Programs librarian Brittany Veland says 50 couples applied.
They were the only couple who were super jazzed about having their wedding open to the public. There's a lot of alienation and loneliness that we're kind of trying to combat as a public library, and so we thought, what brings people together more than a wedding?
People turned pages into decorations, sign-out sheets into greeting cards. One wedding turned into one great display of community.
Sappy love story is my favorite kind.
There's so much anxiety and strife around here. It's like reading a good romantic book to see something like this happen.
Regardless of me knowing them, I know love and I love love. So it's a beautiful thing.
If you can all please rise for Katie and Vincent. Good afternoon, and welcome, Katie and Vincent, your families and your friends, and patrons of Arlington County Public Library. I'm certain many of you only intended to pick up a hold, and you find yourselves in the middle of this gorgeous ceremony.
A ceremony where the guests are much more than a footnote. They represent one of the greatest acts of love. It's when we show up for those we know and those we don't.
So my promise to Katie is this. I'll keep leaning into her boundless energy, her enthusiasm, her joyful need to grow and explore, and I'll keep loving all the ways she helps me become a better version of myself.
I promise to be fierce and loyal and a little bit feral, as you recently described me in a public-facing interview. And last but not least, I promise to keep trying every day with you.
And with that, a new chapter in Katie and Vincent's story starts.
We do.
Then let's make it so.
A chapter surrounded by strangers, proof that community is far from out of print. In Arlington, Virginia, Sean Martinelli, WUSA 9.
Ooh, y'all okay at home? We're all wiping tears away here on the desk. We are always looking for more stories just like this one. So if you know someone inspiring who's making an impact on our community, we would love to hear about them. You can email Sean at theheartofit@WUSA9.com.